As streaming sites take over the music industry, the way Pittsburgh listens to music is changing, and it's changing fast. According to statistics gathered in the IFPI's Global Music Report, 50% of all revenue generated from music sales are accounted for by digital sales. Globally, music consumption increased by about 5%. In contrast to past means of music sales, for example, concerts and physical copies, like records or CDs, accounted for less than 20% of all revenue generated from music sales. In the heart of the technological revolution sweeping the country, Pittsburgh's music scene has not been immune to these changes.
Of the Mystic Shrine, a fraternal organization of the Masons dedicated to fun and philanthropy, would be proud of the 75-year reign of the Syria Mosque. This legacy of wondrous performances and pageantry began with the purchase of Oakland land in 1911. When interest in the order increased dramatically, the group decided to expand to a 2,500-seat theater, hoping to accommodate growing membership as Pittsburgh reached rank as the sixth largest city in the country. The group's love for pomp and circumstance was not lost in the design, as the building boasted Moorish Revival features, stained glass windows, and 32 chandeliers. With room for 3,750 patrons, the Syria Mosque became the largest concert hall in Pittsburgh. The first major performance at the Syria Mosque was the week-long dedication of the building, with over 30,000 people celebrating the addition to the Oakland landscape. Mason members and the public celebrated alike, proud of the magnificent building and anxious to see the moving performances to come. The 75-year reign of the Syria Mosque over the Pittsburgh music scene began when the Syria Band, followed by the Pittsburgh Festival Orchestra, took the stage and entertained thousands. From John Philip Swosa to May Beagle, large bands filled the jeweled room with sighing operas and boastful arias. When the jazz age hit in the 1920s, visitors boogied in their seats as they watched Pittsburgh jazz legends, including Earl Hines, grace the gilded stage. From the National Negro Opera Company to the theatrical productions and comedy, the Syria Mosque entertained Pittsburgh residents, honoring the Shriners' values of a good show.
With the boom of rock and roll came increased interest in consuming the music that rocked the mosque. An answer to this demand was the vinyl record. For Jerry Weber, vinyl became more than a way to listen to his favorite bands. It became his life. The mailman started his business as a hobby. He collected records for years before combining his stash with fellow mailman Jimmy Petruzzi to found the Record Graveyard. Stored above a friend's bar, this collection was the humble beginnings of Jerry's Records, one of Pittsburgh's lasting sites of classic records. Stuffed among stacks of Aerosmith and Eric Clapton albums are styles and eras in music ranging from classical operas to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. While Jerry's Records survives in a growing niche of vinyl consumers, the Syria Mosque did not have such a successful end. The popularity of rock and roll was not lost on the Syria Mosque. Billy Haley, the first hit rock and roll artist, played at the mosque for the first time in 1955. He started a long tradition of jamming to artists like Buddy Holly and the Eagles. But sadly, as a result of the boom of UPMC in Oakland, the Syria Mosque met its end as a parking lot, finally leveled in 1991. Protesters, including City Councilman Jim Furlow, were arrested as they attempted to prevent bulldozers onto the property. Crumbling with the building was the tradition of concerts and pageantry as the music industry becomes digitized and more diverse.